Okay, so let me share my screen. So let me start with the topics whatever we are going to cover, and later I will come to what is like some other things I will share. Okay. First of all, let me know, are you able to see my screen?
Yes,
Okay, so this is the basic outline
yes.
I have made. So this is a basic outline whatever I have made. You will get more than these topics, but this is the basic like training agenda we are going to get. So first of all, we will start with the Linux, because whatever the operating system we need to work, so that needs to be clear in our head, and the purpose, the commands. So from basic to advanced, we are going to understand the Linux as our operating system. So when I say basic to advanced, that means most of nine, like most of the commands are used in the real time. We are going to understand the purpose, the use case, and everything. Okay. Then source code management. So we are going to understand the Git and GitHub for how developer can store the code in the some repository, how to handle that, some comments of the Git, how to like overcome some issue whatever we are going to get in the Git. So those kind of real time scenario based, we are going to understand this Git and GitHub. Then continuous integration tool, we are going to understand the Jenkins from. So see, whatever tools we are talking about, so I'm talking about basically two things. First thing, how to configure that tool. So how to configure means, you might get some job like DevOps architect. So in that case, what you have to do, you have to pass your knowledge to other junior resources, how to set up this particular application in this particular environment. So when I say Jenkins, then first of all, how to set up the Jenkins in the environment, and second is how to work in the Jenkins. So you can work as a DevOps architect as well as DevOps engineer in your real time. So both things will be covered here. So in the Jenkins, we are going to see how to set up, how to work, how to integrate, how to write some code inside that Jenkins job or Jenkins file. Those things will be covered on the Jenkins. Then build tool, whatever build tool we are going to use, as we are going most of the time we are going to use the Java as our source code project. So that is why we are going to use the Maven for our build tool. Then container platform, we are going to use the Docker. Configuration management, we are going to use the Ansible. There are multiple configuration management tool in the market, but Ansible is the most popular tool if I compare to Chef, Puppet, SaltStack, those kind of tool. So Ansible has some benefit those two. So that is why our session will be focused on the Ansible. Then orchestration, Kubernetes is the hot tool currently in the market. So we are going to understand from basic to advanced, like setup, how to set up till how to work, and how to work in an advanced environment. So those of the things we are going to cover. Then monitoring tool, we are going to set up Prometheus, and we are going to use some agent, and we are going to see how the Prometheus works. Then infrastructure as a code, we are going to understand the Terraform. So how to set up Terraform, from where the code should we should get the code, and how to write the code. What are the different commands of the Terraform? How to use in the practical use case? Those kind of thing. And whatever the things we are going to understand, everything we are going to understand on the AWS cloud. So why AWS cloud? So I have one theory. Like some people has maybe have some different theory. So that my theory is, if you see in the cloud market today, 70% cloud market is occupied by AWS. Why? Because all you name the work, it has a service embedded. So that is why if you open any kind of like job portal, you search for the cloud engineer job. So most 70% or 7 out of 10 job will pop up as a DevOps cloud requirement. So that is why AWS is popular, and I am 100% sure in coming decade or coming days, AWS will take over like whatever the rest in the market, the cloud from the cloud point of view. So that is my complete my theory. Somebody has some different theory also, but you can search, you can research more on that, and then you came to know AWS is more important as compared to the Azure or GCP cloud currently in the market. Okay, some of the services which we are going to understand in the, AWS is IAM, EC2, VPC, organization, CloudWatch, S3, code commit, code pipeline, code build. There are many services. I cannot write it everything over here, but we are going to deal with more than 15 services from AWS point of view. How to work, what is the purpose, and how to integrate with other tools. So this is the basic outline of our training session. Okay. So, any question from this one? Like, do you have any question?
Just one
Anyone
question
has
I
any question?
have, Pritam.
Yes, please.
You were mentioning about Java, right?
Yes.
So the thing is that I have no knowledge about coding. So how, if you can let me know how I'll be able
Okay.
to,
So, okay, let me clear myself again. So, I
yeah.
said the Java based project. Okay. So, we are a DevOps engineer. Okay, what is so? First of all, we have to understand what is our role. Then the question will be more clear. So our role is, suppose you are the developer of the organization who develops the code, and I am the DevOps engineer. So what is my responsibility? My responsibility will be, I have to take the code out of whatever code you have written as a DevOps as a developer. As a DevOps engineer, I have to pull your code and do the configuration with the help of these multiple tools. So in order to do the configuration, I do not need to have some knowledge of the Java. Okay, because I'm working as a DevOps engineer, I have the operation knowledge, I have the configuration knowledge. That is enough. I do not have to know the coding, what is written over there. I don't least bother about that. My intention is to publish whatever you have written to the web, so that the other person can access that application. That is my role. So as a DevOps engineer, the role is like, this is the only role of the DevOps engineer. So I hope your answer is clear. Like, there is no
Yeah,
prerequisite you have to know this and that.
yeah, got it. So I understood. Thank you so much for the clarification.
Okay. Any question? Any person from this like, point of view, like tools, and any question from anyone as of now? Okay, so if we have some question, then we will tackle it after the session. Okay, so first of all, whatever things I am going to cover. So first of all, there is zero prerequisite. That means you do not have to know any knowledge in any of the tool or anything. Okay, so but you so only something I needed from all of you, whoever is going to attend the or going to start the session with me. There are two things. First thing is, you should have one AWS account. Okay, that is a free account for 720 hours for 1 year. Okay, so you should have one AWS account. And second thing is, like you have to do practice alongside with me. So suppose today I took the session, and next so my expectation will be you will practice from your end. So definitely I know something, so I normally I don't get the error, but maybe you are the first time trying, so maybe some error you faced during the setup. So please comment next day, either on the WhatsApp, either on the next day session. Please comment me that this is the error I'm getting, how to resolve that, so that we can solve that issue then and there, and we can progress to the next class. So what I need from you, your practice, your time to practice the DevOps. So that is the two thing I need. Nothing else I am required from your, like, no prerequisite is required, no Python knowledge, no Java knowledge, no cloud knowledge, no IT knowledge itself. I don't need that. I will teach you from the very basic, what is that, to how to implement that. So everything will be covered in our session. Okay. So let me start the very basic. I don't know how many people has know that, but whenever, suppose I type in the Google, like let's say I'm typing with DevOps in the Google, so some output are coming. So let's say, for example, I go to the google.com, and I will search of DevOps, hit enter. So some result are coming, right? So how this basically works, so I type something, some reports are coming, some pages are coming, um, some output I can see. So how basically this works? So from the basic level, if you don't know, the idea is, so suppose this is my laptop, and I'm sitting over here, and what I'm asking, I am giving some input to my cloud, to my internet. So via the internet I'm asking something to my laptop. Okay, and after a certain time, maybe some millisecond after, so it is giving us me some output. Okay, so how basically this input and output will works. So basically whenever I hit for some particular domain, let's say in our case the domain is google.com. So google.com is one organization. So in the organization I'm typing something. Okay, so what it does is in the backend something is happened. Okay, now what is happened, so there is some server set up in the backend for the Google application. Whenever I search for something, it the application will redirect to this particular server, and then that server is again redirecting to the internet, like google.com, and then it will pass the output to us. So basically this is the architecture of any of the application you search for. So you search something, you get something, but internally it is also asking something, it is also trying to ask the answer in the internet, and it will get it. So this component is known as server. So server is very much important in order to understand this basic chronology or basic flow chart. So what is server? Server is nothing but, like, suppose you have one laptop which is having 8 GB RAM, like maybe 1 TB hard disks, some graphics you have, some port you have, some VPN you have, some Wi-Fi network you have. So these are the components. So if these components are present in some system, that can be known as a server. So that means you can use your laptop or desktop or whatever as a server. So server means where the application has been deployed. That is the meaning of the server. So as a DevOps engineer, there are many roles. I will come to that later. So let me give you one small picture here. So I don't know how many have you realized, but just stay on this page and you will understand the proper flow. Okay, so I'm giving you one basic flow. Suppose I have one developer in my project. So the developer purpose is, so whatever the source code, whatever the need of the application, they develop the code. Okay. So I have one developer in my team, so who has developed the code and published the code. So naturally the code should be published into somewhere so that other person can access that code. Okay, so developer has published the code in some source code management, which will be git in our case. Okay, now he has published the code in git. Now after that, what, so this is the developer job done. So this is the job of the developer which is done in this point. Okay, so this is the developer work. Now after this, as a DevOps engineer, we have to come into the picture. What we have to do, so initially this is the server we know that. So as a DevOps engineer, whatever code has been published in the git, we have to publish it in the server. That is our role. Okay, server means there should be some machine where we have to publish whatever is written by the developer. Now in order to do this publication, we have to do multiple things. So what are the multiple things, what are the tools are involved over there? So the involvement will be Jenkins. It will be our CI tool. The involvement will be like Maven, which will be our build tool. Next involvement will be our, so depending on that, artifactory, which we are going to use, let's say JFrog. Next thing we are going to deal with, once that is done, then we have to create some image out of the artifactory. So for that we are going to use Docker for image build. Once we are done with that, Depending on the use case, we may use or may not use the Ansible. That will be our configuration management tool. So Ansible will help us in different way. We will see that later. Okay, configuration management tool. After it is done, whatever image is built via the Docker, we have to run as an application. And where we are going to use it, we are going to use it in Kubernetes as our orchestration tool. Once that is done, the health of the application should be monitored by some of the monitoring tool. So in our case, we are going to use the Prometheus. So it is a monitoring tool. Okay. Once that is done, so this is the job role of one DevOps engineer. So DevOps engineer has to be pitching when the developer has finished the job, and we have to take the job and publish to the server. So this kind of tool will be involved one by one to complete the entire flow. And this is basically the job role of a DevOps engineer. Now, in our session, we are going to learn all the tools in a practical manner, along with some Linux concept, along with some other services concept. So this will be done in AWS cloud. We are not going to do anything on the on premises. We are going to build our own AWS cloud account, and we are going to work in our AWS account in service to service basis. Okay. Now this is the thing. Now once that is done, now you can, when you have the all the experience, so you can sit for what kind of job role. So first of all, you can sit in this kind of job role. So let me clarify that also. So first of all, it will be cloud engineer. Second is architect. Third is cloud SRE. So most of the time you are going to see the job role are based on cloud engineer, architect, and SRE. So what is the purpose of the cloud architect? To configure this tool. So in the organization, normally someone configure this Jenkins and someone work in the Jenkins. So two people don't work like set up and work. Both, basically these two are the different job role as a DevOps in the DevOps field. So setup is done by the cloud architect and the work has been done by the cloud engineer. So we are going to see how to set up, how to work. So that means we are eligible for sitting for the interview as a cloud engineer, as a cloud architect. Okay. Now what is cloud SRE? So SRE is who is having the more experienced. Okay. So who is having more practical experience. So suppose uh, I have one thing, something is running very smoothly. All of a sudden, some problem has come. So, first of all, that has to be debugged by Cloud SRE. So, that means Cloud SRE is having more experience. He knows where could be the issue, and he can fix that issue very more faster as compared to the architect or engineer. So we will see, we will practically see what kind of issue can come in the practical scenario and how to tackle that issue. So where should be the issue, how to see the issue, and how to solve that issue. So everything will be covered in our trainings, and whatever tools we are going to use, everything will be used in the AWS cloud. Okay, so that is the thing we are going to achieve in the session. So any question up to this point, anyone? Anyone is having any doubt, any questions?
Pritam, sorry to interrupt. I
Yes,
just have
please.
one question. See, we learn all these applications and how the tools should be used and stuff, right? That which will be done in the cloud. So
Yes.
we'll start getting the knowledge on how to work on these tools. So my question is, sorry if this question is very soon. But I just wanted to know that, like I told you, I have 3 years experience in IT, which is in support, correct? But if I'm going for an interview, so will I be able to show my 3 years experience and jump into cloud engineer or cloud architect and continue that work? Will I be able to, sustain my work over there? Because it will be something new which I'm doing, right? Which is a totally different department. So I just
Yes,
wanted to know
I
how.
understood.
Hmm,
So there is basically two
yeah,
types of question you ask about. First thing is,
yeah.
so how, so I have, so your question is, I have 3 years of experience. So if I understand this, so it would be justified. Like, can I show that I have 3 years of experience? That is one point. Second point is, if I have that job of the DevOps, can I sustain over there? So two types of question you ask. So first question answer is, whatever training we are going to get, you can easily create your resume like that way that you have more than 3+ years of experience. That is not for you, that is all for everyone. So these are, everything will be practical. So you will write your resume something like that you are having more than 3 years of experience. That is the first point. And second point is, everything in the session we are going to use in the practical way. How to set up, how to work, how like how to begin with the tool, how to get the error in the tool, and how to fix that error. So everything will be practical. So after the session you will be confident enough to not only sustain, you can guide some third person to work in the DevOps. So that I am confident enough. Like in my tutorials, that yes, my session will be like that. You can help other person after getting your job. Yeah, boss, do it. Do this job like this way. This is the correct way to do the job.
Okay. So the applications that you've mentioned over here, whichever company goes, just the name will differ, or they will use the same tools.
No, see, there are like, no, not the same tool. So suppose I can take one example, like let's say Git. Okay, so maybe we are going to understand Git and the GitHub. Okay, but many organization may use GitLab, that can use Bamboo, that can use like Bitbucket. Those kind of, there are several other tools or services present in the market also. But why GitHub? Again, the same point. 90% or 80% of the people who are using Git in the organization level, they are using GitHub for their source code management. So we are targeting the higher whatever tool is used more frequently as compared to the other. That is the first point. And the second point is, if you have the experience on the GitHub, that is pretty much easy. If you see the Bamboo, if you see the GitLab, in 1 or 2 day you can understand, okay, this is how it works. Because you have the knowledge of Git, you have the knowledge of GitHub, so it is very much easy to cope up with the other tools. But most of the things we are going to cover, those are the most used tool in currently in the market. Maybe there are some organizations, they are using some different tools for their work, that is a different thing. But if you, in that interview also, if you say, I don't have Bitbucket experience but I am a good in GitHub, then that is fine. They are going to ask you some basic Git questions. If you answer that, then you will be selected. And like within 1 or 2 days you can understand Bitbucket also. So that is the whole idea.
Well, thank you so much. Thanks.
Okay, so that is the yes. Yeah, somebody is trying to ask something. Okay, so in the setup also, yes. Okay, if someone not saying something, please mute yourself. Not there is, I am saying for the DevOps job there are three kinds of job role. So not three jobs, three kind of job role. And you can do any kind of DevOps job, but most of the people, so there is not written in somewhere that you like you I need, that we need engineer, architect, or SRE. But in the job role, reading by the job role, you can understand what would be the job role. If it is architect, then they are preferring your job to be configuration level, engineer to the work level, SRE to the debug level. So this kind of thing. So more, like more precisely, three kind of job role, like in the broad, if I segregate DevOps, I can find like almost three kind of job role here, and you can fit. So by reading on the job description, you can understand what is the requirement, and according to that, you can prepare yourself and seek for the interview and crack the interview.
Uh, and Pritham, there is one more question. This is
Yes.
Lokesh. Uh,
Hi, Lokesh.
what about the projects that we are going to do over the course? Like, is there any project that we can upload to our Git repository to showcase our skills to any recruiter or any company?
See the project we are going to have. So first of all, again there is two questions: project and in GitHub upload. Okay, so whatever, suppose I take, first let's say I take Docker for example. So in a real time, suppose I am dealing with some project where I have to build the Docker file to build the Docker image, and later I have to pull that image, start as a container. So that is the project I am dealing with. Let's say in one of my organization. Okay, so you can treat that is also one kind of project. So this is a project, but the problem is that you have to deal with the one service. There is no multiple service involved over there, because your job role is to create the Docker file. That is not a small job role. You have to create the Docker file, build the image, you have to see the container is behaving correctly or not. So you can treat that one as a project. So that is one thing. Second thing is, now if you see even broadly, so the project says you have to integrate one tool with another. So whatever tools I'm mentioning here, so at the last I'm going to integrate all the tools together in the AWS cloud, so that you can, like, depending on that, like I will show one Java based project, you can take another Java based project, and you can showcase in the GitHub, and you can show that I have this knowledge. But I will advise you, whatever things we will do from the basic to advanced, everything you should treat as an project. So whatever we will do, you can do some research, or if you don't have the time, you can replicate the same thing in your environment and upload it in the GitHub, either in a text format, either in a video format, or either in some code format. Okay, so you can show your recruiter that yes, this kind of knowledge I have, a small project I have built over the time period. So you can show like that way also.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so any question from anyone? uh, Other question? Like today's session is, normally I want to show you what we are going to achieve, what are the questions, what are the doubts you have, and what we have to do. That is the basic agenda of today's session. So if you don't have, so if there is some person who has don't have no idea about AWS cloud, and have not seen the cloud GUI, so this is the it will look like this is the AWS cloud dashboard. Okay, so I have some services I have worked, so that is why it is showing some services. But at the beginning, whenever you will create, it will be blank, the home page will be blank. So something we have to understand, suppose like small thing, we are going to see that in deep down later. So first of all, we have to choose the region where we are going to work. So as I'm currently from India, so Mumbai is the closest region from my side. So I have choose this Mumbai region, and there are some reason behind that. So the networking will be more faster if I deploy my services in this particular region. If sitting with, let's say, in the UK, then there is a London region which you can use. So this is EU West 2. So then your network will be more faster. So that is the whole idea about the this region. And there are like I just show you this dashboard. And please, if you don't know how to create the AWS account in without getting charged or free AWS account, then you can, like if you don't know, you can ask me. If you know, you can create it, or if you have some curiosity, you can search in the YouTube and you can find it. Okay, so but whatever I need one AWS account, active account, so that let's say for example Lokesh. Okay, so today I will ask Lokesh, please share your screen. So he will share his screen. I will say, okay Lokesh, do this kind of stuff. So go to EC2, do this kind of stuff, and finally you will see one application we are going to deploy, or one component we are going to develop, or one service we are going to understand. whatever the case is. But I will ask other person to do that, so that like benefit is that person is also doing practice. Some people also do from their end, like seeing the video they can do try it from their side. So and everything will be practical. So next day maybe I will ask Karthik, please share your screen, because yesterday Lucas has shared. So Karthik will share his screen. But the idea is, whatever Lucas has created today, that has to be there in the Karthik machine, so that we can start next day session from that point. So then when what happen is, Karthik may face some issue. He try to solve that. If he can, then that is well and good. If he cannot, he can ask me. I will guide him how to resolve that. Then next day I will jump to the Karthik machine and he will share the screen and we will do our practical session over that screen. So like that way, my session will happen, and so that everybody should involve in the process. Okay, that is the idea of the session. So yeah, so I can tell you. And why Linux, actually, again, last point I need to highlight why Linux, because like DevOps works more faster in the Linux kind of operating system. So any application you name it, that application has been deployed on the Linux environment. Most of the 99% of the application, you can take up Facebook, Google, whatever you name it, their backend server developed in the Linux operating system. So that is why the Linux administrator or Linux like command experience is very much needed. So that is why we are going to understand the Linux session also from our side. So that is all about my things. If you want to know something more, you can contact with me, and we are going to understand. But before I do that, please, if you have some questions, so any question are welcome, like any kind of question. So maybe how silly the question is, but everything is welcome.
I have
Pritham, I
one
have a
question.
question.
Okay, please, one by one.
Yeah, Pritham, I just have one question regarding the certifications. So currently, what type of certifications are necessary for jobs? Like we
See,
have the AWS
see
certifications and
why.
Linux.
No, the point is why certification. You have to understand that. Okay, so why certification means, if you don't have the knowledge, then certification will help you to get first hit for the interview. Okay, but after that, if you don't have that knowledge, then certification will not help you. So yes, certification is good. I'm not saying certification is bad, but knowledge is more important. And along your question answer is, so if I have to suggest you, so I will suggest you do some AWS certification, do some Terraform certification, do some Docker certification, and if you can, you do some Kubernetes certification. That will be more than enough to get into the DevOps area. But more important, the knowledge is your power. So if I don't have any certification, I sit for the interview, I will crack that interview with my knowledge only. So focus on that part only first. I hope I have answered your question. Yes, someone saying something.
Yeah, hi Pritham. So what I wanted to understand is, so are the sessions recorded? Because for some reason, if I'm not able
Yes,
to attend the
yes,
session for a day, it's recorded.
yes, yes. It will be recorded
It's
and the link will be shared to you. Yes, but
okay.
like
Thank
it will be recorded, but
you.
that will be uploaded maybe sometimes after, like 2 3 hours after it will be uploaded. So
But
it
on the
will be
same day,
available
right?
after. Most of the time it will be in the same day. If there is no holiday or something, yeah, most of the time
Okay.
same day it will be uploaded.
Okay. Thank you, Pritham.
Pritham, just a quick
Yes,
couple of questions. So this
yes.
certification part, we have to do it separately, or once the course is over, you guys will send an online certificate.
No, no, that will be like the completion certificate you will get, but like I will advise you to get some proper certification. Proper in the sense, like which can be given by AWS only. No one can give it. So those are will
So
be more
like
valuable.
taking it through Udemy course is what you're saying.
No,
Through
no, not
Udemy or
not
something.
at all. Udemy is completion certificate again. But I'm saying that, like, suppose I have to give some AWS certification, then I have to enroll for AWS only. So the approver of the certification will be AWS, so I have to sit for the AWS certification. So no third party involved over there, only the main vendor and me. So that's kind of certification I'm talking about.
So that we can check it online and we can do that
Yeah,
certification,
yeah,
right?
yeah. But before that, I will advise you to connect with me so that I can advise you what to read or what to prepare before you sit for the certification, because every certification is cost more than 7,000, 8,000, 10,000, and Kubernetes certification is around 40,000. Okay, so so you have to plan it very well before you sit for any certification. Not only
Okay.
me, you can ask
And
any other person, like any other person who has some experience. They can guide you, like where to read, what to read for before you sitting for the certification. Yes.
okay, but still I can attend the interviews and I can crack the interviews and I can get the job even if I don't have a
Yeah, that is
certificate.
different way.
Later on I
That
can.
both are different path actually. Yes, still without any certification, you can attend, you can crack, you can work.
Okay. And regarding the training, how long and will I think it's we every day as well as Saturday, Sunday. So how long is it training? 1.5 months or
Yeah, but you can take it like 2 months. Like roughly you
okay.
can take it 2 months, because maybe some people, so some people may not be available for one day, so he has to cope up with the pace. So roughly saying like 2 months, 40 hours in total.
All right. And sorry, I'm asking too many questions. Just one
uh,
last one. So once the course is over, you any of you people will be helping us on how to crack the interviews, like what kind of questions will be asked, how to answer all
uh,
those things. Will
in the training session I will give you some notes for tool to tool specific. You have to go through that note, and most of the question will be asked on inside that course. So your practical knowledge as well as your like course, like theoretical, some question answer, whatever you have, with the help of that you can crack the interview.
all right. Super. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Uh, Hi Pritam, this is
Hi.
Lokesh again. Yeah,
Hi, Lokesh.
besides your classes, if we have any doubt, like after the class, how will we contact you or the support team to get the answers?
Doubt means what kind of doubt?
uh, if we do any for example EC2 machine, VPC, any configuration setup, and after the class if I'm in any problem, if I'm not able to troubleshoot or anything, I'm not moving forward with the configuration, with the class. So
Okay.
yeah.
So yeah, the point is, suppose today we have taken the VPC. Okay, so VPC has
Yeah.
many multiple component, and let's say Karthik has shared his screen, so he has done his thing. Later on, the video has uploaded, and Lokesh, you are trying to implement the same in your environment, but you are getting some error. Then definitely we will be attached to some group, WhatsApp group. You can ping me directly over there. I can see, I can suggest what to do, so you can implement, and the issue will be fixed. That is the way of we will deal.
Communicating, okay. Are we getting any reference materials besides these classes? Any
Not required.
uh,
That is not required. Reference material. There are multiple material published over the internet, but it will confuse you. Okay, so just stick to whatever we are going to do. Look, stick to that point and surround the question surrounding with that. That will be more than enough.
okay.
Hello, Pritam.
Hi,
Hi, this is Siddesh.
hi.
I have around 5 years of experience in a manual testing. Okay, but
Okay.
after I am switching manual testing to DevOps. So company consider as me fresher or experience means.
You will not. So the point is, like, it is depends on you. So if you say I am having 5 years of manual testing experience, so first of all, you will not get any calls from the DevOps role. That is the first point. So the trick part is you have to show that you are having, so in the last 5 years of experience, you are having 2 years of manual testing experience and 2 years of DevOps experience. sorry, 3 years of DevOps experience. So you have to build your resume such a way, and then no one will treat you as a fresher, right? So there is no point to treat you as a fresher.
Okay.
That is the point. Yes. Any question, anyone?
Hi Pritham, this is Vinay.
Hi, hi, Vinay.
Pritham, are we getting some more projects just for the practice purpose?
Yeah. So I will show you one project from my side, and I will give you
Okay.
some project so that you can duplicate the same thing
Okay, from end to end mapping, not only
end
particular
to end.
one.
No,
Okay.
end to
Huh.
end. So I'm saying that from starting from the git to the deployment. So end to end.
Okay, thanks.
Any doubt, team? Any other question, team? Okay, so if we you have don't have any questions, so this today's session was for to make us understand what will be our flow, like what kind of question or what kind of tools we are going to cover, why we are going to cover, and what we need to have. Like we have need to have zero prerequisite. We should have one AWS account handy, and I need some dedication from your side so that you can do practice. You get the error, so you get some troubles during the setup, that is expected, but please do that also. So whenever you get the error, I will suggest, or you can fix it up by yourself also. So so more experience you will gather during this process. So that is the point I want to highlight, and everything end to end, everything will be practical. Whatever we are going to understand, you can build your resume more than 3 years of DevOps experience. And yeah, more advanced tools and more used tools currently in the market we are going to understand. So that is all from my side. So if we start from next day we will directly jump to the Linux session and we will do the session. Okay, so that is we are going to understand. Okay, so any final question, any other final doubt from anybody?
When's the session starting?
I'm not sure about that, but maybe
Okay.
I have to give like one of the, so today's session is just to understand thing, and maybe some other demo session or something will be arranged very soon, and like most probably in this week, like coming week, we are going to start.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, Pritham, I would like to ask you something. Actually,
Yes,
I
please.
belong to the telecom industry. I'm having more than 15 years of experience. Okay,
Okay.
I recently and I'm deployed with a good IT company, but there also I'm working on a telecom project only. So what is my
Okay.
concern is my suitability, the compatibility with the current set of what you have in IT sector. So although I have understood the architecture, how this application and this networking and all, but like it would require some more time. 40 hours would be enough to get acquainted with the current trend or how exactly it is.
The
It's,
current trend, like tools to tool basis, we are going to understand 40 hours is enough. So
okay.
if I give you 40 hours, then I will expect you, like during that time period, 40 hours extra from you. So that means total 80 hours. So 40 hours I will give, 40 hours you will give for the practice. So almost 80 hours we will cover there and there. And next thing
Mhm.
is like the basic thing, the you say that how this IT sector will work on those kind of thing. Yes, you can connect with me separately if you are dealing with some different background, and you are switching from the
Yeah,
IT
yeah,
to the IT, then
that's
I'm
what
going to
I.
help you. You can connect
Yeah.
with me separately because only you have the requirement, but other people already know that they are working in the IT, so we can connect
Mhm.
separately for that purpose. and everything will be
Okay,
the
okay.
same for.
Yeah, because I do have and a lot more questions, like which version of the Linux we
I'm
going
I'm
to use, so that
I'm ready to
yeah.
help you to answer all of the question. No worries. But for that
Okay.
you have to connect with me separately. Okay.
Okay, all right. I'll do that. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. So team, if you don't have any questions, then we can done with the day. Next day, whenever we will start, we will see everything started. Maybe Linux or something we are going to start. But only request, please do create one AWS account so that we can ask you to share your screen and do the stuff. Okay, bye team. That is enough for today. So you can if you have further question, you can contact Visualpath. They has provided their numbers. You can directly contact with them. Okay.